I-75 in North Extension Road in, again, Monroe Township. The conditional zoning back in 2022 did not have what I call a sunset clause, meaning that if substantial progress was not made on the approved light manufacturing facility, it would revert back to its original agriculture and forestry management zoning district. Currently, it is conditionally zoned commercial. Okay. The prospective buyer would like to establish a contractor's yard there under the conditional zoning of, again, commercial development. So, hence why we're here this morning, because the request is to change the distinct land use associated with the original conditional rezoning. We have to work through a public hearing process with the planning commission, and then you, as the governing body, have ultimate approval authority. Just as a sidebar, albeit an important one, if the request gets approved by you this morning, the applicant would then follow up with a special use permit for the contractor's yard land use. So that's essentially it in a nutshell. So it looks like Mr. Lawson is pulling up some information. I was going to have the actual ordinance which shows the subject property in case those of you are unfamiliar with its location. Mr. Ankowiak owns the property. Some of you may know Mr. Joe Ankowiak in Monroe Township. And there we go. And then Mr. Lawson, there is the actual ordinance in the packet which clearly shows the subject property, maybe a little better than that.
Get to the bottom here.
There we go.
That's pretty much been used for that over the years.
It has. There have been several non-residential industrial type uses that have occurred on the site, including an ice manufacturing facility. I believe there was a mechanics facility there at one time, a well drilling office or well drilling facility used as a base for a well drilling service. So you're absolutely right. The property has been used historically for non-residential purposes. So all we're asking for, again, this morning, Mr. Chair, is to change the distinct assigned land use to that would allow the applicant to pursue a contractor's yard under special use.
Once that is rezoned, it's not like a special permit at all. The property will permanently be zoned.
If the applicant does not follow through on the contractor's yard, then it would revert back to ag forest. But otherwise,
Should they not own the property in the future, then it would revert back to her as well?
not necessarily, because assuming the applicant obtains a special use permit runs with the property. So if the approved applicant owner in the future sells the property, it would be limited to that contractor's yard use under that conditional rezoning.
That particular buyer.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
This is the ordinance amendment as staff has identified there. Under conditional rezoning, the applicant can make a specific application request, in this case for use of contractor yard. So as long as that use, if we get that permit and the use maintains, it will stay in perpetuity of use. But as soon as that use disappears, then it reverts back to its original zoning classification. So that's a little bit different between a standard rezoning and a conditional rezoning. We've had maybe half a dozen conditional rezonings in the last 5 to 8 years or so.
Yeah, and that's a good point, and Mr. Lawson is right. We don't receive very many applications. It is a method, if you will, to allow what we would consider a harmonious district that doesn't currently allow for it. So the conditional rezoning limits the use, whereas a standard rezoning, as you likely know, allows for the entire suite of uses under that specific zoning district. So,
Correct.
Mr. Chair, if I may, two questions. Number one, Monroe Township, I guess I'm not familiar with the process on this, but does the township have input? If so, what's your thoughts? I mean, this chunk of land's been used for so many different things over the years. I don't think it'd be opposed, but I just wonder if that is a question, planning.
well, it's par for the course, sir, for whenever we receive an application, whether it be for rezoning or special use permit, we contact township officials to allow them an opportunity to comment. And going back in my admittedly fading memory, I believe the township at the time, under the original conditional rezoning application, was supportive of the application. They did not weigh in this time with respect to the change in use. Again, that's a distinction here. The zoning would remain the same, it's the use. So you're right, Mr. Wallace, you're right. I mean, historically, this property has been used for various commercial uses, so it's not necessarily something, new or out of the ordinary, dare I say. But they did not weigh in this time, Mr. Claremont.
And then the second question I have, Mr. Chair, if I may, can you stick around, Mike, for a few minutes under board matters for discussion? I'd like you to be part of our discussion in reference to the request of repeal amendment on 150. If you've got time. I know you don't have tie on, but that's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank
I
you.
keep a clip on in my office. Anyway, I'd be happy.
Chairman, I have a
Anybody
comment. I have a comment. I just want to thank the Planning Commission and Michael Turks, the zoning administrator, for getting this process through. This is really a very complicated process. It's not an easy thing to do. You might look at it and say, well, from the time of the application to today, it's 60 days. Well, why did it take so long? Well, actually, this has been expedited.
Yeah, right.
It's because of the public hearings that you have to have, and notifications that you have to do. It's really been well done, and I appreciate the Planning Commission, and John Stewart is here, that you work with county taxpayers to improve their businesses, so they can progress. I appreciate that you went through with this complicated process to get them what they needed to have done. So, thanks for that.
Thank you, Tom. Anyone else? What's your pleasure, board?
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion.
Okay, support?
I'll support.
Okay. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Newman?
Yes.
Commissioner Eustace?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Warfield?
Yes.
Commissioner Osmann?
Yes.
Commissioner Claremont?
Yes.
Commissioner Sangster?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you for sitting in, or standing in, so. Board matters for discussion.
May, Mr. Chair, we have the correspondence from Mr. Long, Joe Long,
Yep.
in reference to the formal request for repeal of the amendment. I know we have the intent to discuss this near the end of June, but I think that with especially our meetings coming up and solar, water, checking blocks and so forth, as far as the solar project, I would like to have or ensure that there's discussion and maybe have this on the next agenda as an agenda item to either approve or disapprove repealing this amendment. I think it's important, I think it needs to be timely, and I would like also to ask Mr. Terse, have you seen the correspondence in reference to Mr. Long's request?
Mr. Claremont, I believe so. We're talking about the same correspondence. Mr. Long did submit a letter to this body, I believe it was at the last meeting. He provided a copy to me, and I in turn provided to the Planning Commission. If we're talking about a different or recent correspondence, I don't believe I have it. I'd like to take a look at it, and I can confirm one way.
Sure. This is dated May 7th.
Yes.
Okay, so you have that. And once again, we've had discussion in reference to a planning and zoning commission and their request for guidance on certain things. And I think as board of commissioners, we owe those individuals that in certain circumstances. So I would like to either request that we put this on the next agenda, or the next meeting as an agenda item, or at least give guidance to our planning commission as to which way they should go. Because I keep hearing that from different individuals that the planning commission is looking to this board for guidance on certain things. So, not being the subject matter expert in reference to planning and zoning, but I'd certainly like to have that discussion.
You probably need legal counsel. Want to make direction and bring this up formally?
I will make the motion that we put this on the agenda for the next meeting.
I would support that. Thank you, Steve. Moved and supported. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Ostman?
Yes.
Commissioner Sangster?
Yes.
Commissioner Newman?
Yes.
Commissioner Eustace?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Warfield?
Yes.
Commissioner Claremont?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Carried 7-0. So Joe will be bringing that up.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks for your input.
If I could, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
I could just make a comment. Someone was in this room, I think, called who made this statement earlier, that the planning commission was looking, for some political cover, for lack of a better term, from our body here. And I think it is important that we go in this direction because indeed, we are elected individuals and we will be accountable for the decisions that are made on behalf of Cheboygan County, whereas our planning commission members are appointed and their service is greatly appreciated, and their opinions are the last thing we just voted on, had unanimous approval by the planning commission. And this board unanimously goes along with them. But at some places the buck stops, for lack of a better word. I believe it does stop right here at our desks, or so.
Okay. Administration has the directives. Any other board matters for discussion? Jeff?
I had some citizens contact me about what seems like an overreach of Mackinac Island controlling, parts of the mainland. They now can, they won't. The House passed the bill, and the Senate passed the bill to have Mackinac Island control parking in Mackinac City, in St. Ignace, but Mackinac City would affect us. And they're just concerned at how far that is going to go, whether they're going to set tax rates, how far that control is going to go. So when you have another, an outside body controlling another,
Another
body, yeah, that just doesn't seem right. Now, granted, Mackinac Island citizens have to vote on that to become official. That more likely would happen. They're just very concerned about that, what the implications of that are going to be. And they were wondering what our position on that would be, but I think we would oppose something like that, but I don't know what the general feeling would be.
Want us to keep that on the front burner?
Yeah, I guess that's what they were looking for. They're just very concerned of how far that power is gonna go,
I don't think we know enough about it.
Uh,
I don't think we know enough about it.
Well, right, and that was kind of part of the discussion too, what, what does that mean? Do they just control properties the ferry companies own, or do they control anybody who wants to park a car that people are going over to the island, or?
I assume the ferry companies own the parking lot,
Right,
but that's just an assumption.
yeah.
Bad to assume things.
They do, but now the island can control what they do on it in Mackinac City. And it just seems like an overreach, and it kind of comes in,
Yeah, we gotta bring the forces together, right?
yeah, potentially, it seems like a minefield.
Anybody have a business card that quells riots?
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe we could refer to them.
Mr. Chairman, I have one item for discussion, and I don't want to put Commissioner Newman on the spot here, but I apologize for not discussing this way previous, but North Country Community Mental Health, we're all, and by all the commissioners are receiving numerous emails regarding the Bergman Center and the administration of that organization, and I do believe you're a liaison director. Could you speak, sir, just a little bit? We're kind of the rest of us are being overwhelmed here with communications about an issue that we don't know much about. You serve in that capacity. Could you just give us maybe?
Well, the Bergman Center itself, it serves a large area. And what they're looking for is they're saying that, it should be funded through North Country Community Mental Health to that degree. And they're saying that they are funding it at the level that they feel is appropriate. And that's where the problem lies, is that, and it's a work in progress. And I'm somewhat confused by it myself, even sitting on that board, because every time we have a meeting, something else evolves from it that wasn't a component of it before. So I'm waiting for the next meeting to see, where we're at. And I get those correspondence just as you do.
Right.
And they send them all out, but yet I'm not, privy to any more information than really you are from the meetings. So, it's a confusing issue, that's all I can say with it. And it's a work in progress.
Maybe after your next meeting, if you could just reach out to me directly.
Sure.
Not to try to avoid the rest of the board.
No.
I guess I have some questions, and it sounds like you don't have clarity either, so.
Yeah, and I would certainly, Brian Babbitt, the CEO there, would be more than happy perhaps to talk to or we could set up something where we could talk together, to answer those specific questions, because there are, it's almost like there's a plethora of questions coming from all the board members, and we all kind of sit there and, because there is so much information on it. And I don't know, Jeff, whether you've been part of that, or whether you have any information or input on it yourself from just seeing what you have. I don't expect that, but I just thought maybe, it's a very complex issue. And because of that, and because of the ever-evolving, our meeting last month was actually moved from the center to the Holiday Inn not dining area, but their meeting area, because they anticipated so many people coming in. And that's what they're doing. They're bringing in, all the family and members and I should say patients or the family members. They come in there and think that they're trying to do away with caring for their family members who are very, in need of that kind of care that the Bergman Center provides.
Right.
But it boils down to some of the things that came out was that, they raised minimum wage, but yet didn't give any more allocations to those types of programs to cover the wage increases. And, there's quite a few complex parts to it, but I'd be more than happy.
Yeah, I just, my concern is, I reading between the lines here a little bit, and it almost looks like Bergman Center might just collapse over all this.
And that's
go away.
basically what
And if
they-
that's the case, who takes care of these people's needs, and do they come back out and live on the street in the public?
Yeah, no,
That's
they're,
where where I'm going with it.
most all of them, if not all of them, are family members. So they do have, support that's needed for them. But this Bergman Center is a place for them all to go and meet and enjoy each other's company and serve on projects and things like that with their family members there. So it's not just these people that are on the street, it's people who, have family members who are in need of support.
Gotcha. And I may have had a misunderstanding or misconception of what the Bergman Center provides.
Oh, yeah, no, that's.
Yeah, I would appreciate that conversation.
Sure.
Further
I'll
on
talk
that
to
regard.
Brian and see if we can't set something up. The more input, I certainly appreciate your thoughts on that, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Chair, if I may, I know I had a phone call in to Commissioner Newman also because of the correspondence. I wonder, Brian, maybe you could come here and
That'd be a good idea, thank you for that thought, because I'm sure that he would be able to do that. I'll set something up and I'll have a talk with him after we get somewhere close to clarity, because that's the problem. We think we're at a point of understanding, and now the last meeting, all the people that were in the audience said, well, we didn't quite understand it that way, we didn't understand the funding. And so they said that they were gonna go back to the Bergman board, and ask them a bunch of questions. So there's so many different components of that are not clear. But yes, that's an excellent idea, and I'll talk to Brian about that, so we need to provide that information for all of us.
Thank you. Good input.
Yes.
Anything else to come before us? Citizen comment.
Hi, I'm Sherry Long. Great.
Hi, Sherry.
the better half.
Yes, exactly. Joe Long is my husband. This we've established. I was just wondering, Jeff, for the meeting with EDP and Commissioner Wallace, did they have an agenda in place, or is it just a procedural matter? I was just curious why you were just asking.
It's the first time for us.
Pardon me?
It's the first time for us to meet with somebody like that that wants to do something. So we're not quite sure what the discussion.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Is that me, I have a question for you, I guess, Mr. Administrator. That process, this meeting is mandated, is that the case, or is this something truly a one-off? Or is it mandated as part of the process?
Well, the county can choose to meet, which we have, and the reason we're doing that is so we can file for intervenor funds. If we refuse to do that, then my understanding, we lose that capability. So the way I understand the meeting is they'll come in and present basically their site plan to us for initial review. We'll have information to look at from our past meeting with the planning commission and start that discussion. So other than that, this is the first time we're going through it, so I don't know all the details until we get through the meeting. They have to then have a public hearing, and we encourage the public at the public hearing